Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelrips, our writer is Sloy XP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Wildlife has started, and we think the name is funny considering every season has been wild up to this point. Also, if you think we're doing a wildlife recap, A, that's called a wildlife documentary, and B, no, we don't have time. Are you kidding me, dude? On the server that we do cover on this channel, Ravager Rush is back, Perry the Platypus seems to be popping up again, and you all missed B00's birthday. This is a call-out post, and you're in it.
Today's a special day for somebody here.
Happy birthday!
I can't believe it. I can't believe
Happy
it.
birthday!
So while we're here, let's call out all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Good Times with Scar, who does a quick run of Ravager Rush just to get a good personal best score before the game is shut down for a month. Yeah, this one might have been pre-recorded a while ago.
Etho's shutting down Frogger for the month, and I want to get a personal best before he does.
The work he's been doing since is, at least in part, clearing out the terrain for the zoo he will be building for the duration of the season, meaning he will be probably building more terrain instead of the terrain he's cleared out.
Over 100,000 grass blocks. Was it worth it? I think it was.
Still, it helps to have a blank canvas, which is why he also removes the secret Cubfan hideout from the premises and puts it at Cubfan's own base, making the whole thing the secret hideout, perhaps. Another thing that must have taken a lot of time out of that month Ravager Rush was closed is Scar fulfilling his Popo duties and making a massive list of the Hermitcraft members and the shopping permits they have not yet created businesses for. It is then that he notices that someone has put rugby posts into the Enforcer headquarters, meaning for once that the shop police actually has a goal.
What is this? We have inadequate plumbing? We got a hollow institution here with no authority.
To explain the football goal, we'd have to explain Joe Hills, and there's very little chance of that happening. Joe himself cannot explain why the transport map of the server's nether hub is now made out of different coloured stripes of carpet, but he can nudge Cubfan in the direction of making a trans-dimensional roller coaster, for when gravity isn't the only force you want to exploit.
You can now send carts through portals instantly.
I'm gonna make that happen, Joe. I'm gonna make that happen.
I believe in you. I didn't bring an axe because I didn't know what we'd be doing, and then I didn't bring any blocks to scaffold with, so I'm just slowly punching these chests.
Once Scar partly dismantles the football posts, Joe throws out the whole thing and it touches down in the river nearby, which was apparently the plan all along. Evidently, Joe just wanted to be the one to move the goalposts for once.
Post might be a little bit subtle, but if you know where to look.
Speaking of goalposts, Rendog discovers a few too many scoop balls have wandered onto the pitch at his exoplanetary base. He wants to reinfest his base with armadillos, but we can't have them interfering with regulation sports. After taking some measures to cordon off parts of his base, he watches from orbit as the infestation spreads, then returns to working on his pottery business.
You know, like an old antique shop that you go into, it's got that musty smell to it, and there's just tables everywhere that are covered with weird trinkets from all over the world.
The shirt shop takes the shape of an Art Deco antique emporium, with the goods priced according to their rarity, because it takes a lot of work to even have a chance of collecting the less common ones, and he doesn't want one hermit buying out the whole store. Especially since that'd give away the secret of his new scaffolding methods.
With the pots, it's kind of easy to get up and down, and I don't know, kind of highly recommend it. I like it. I think I'm going to use pots more as a builder.
But luckily for him, the more highfalutin hermits are likely to be put off by the anti-permit office stickering the shop received while it was still under construction. The resistance propaganda has been extra prevalent lately, since, much like Sloy on his godforsaken Tumblr, Ijevin has been posting with reckless abandon. His demands to be taken seriously have landed surprisingly well for someone wearing a frog onesie. XB Crafted, for one, welcomes the Nopo with open arms and is all too happy to explain Ijevin exactly how the law system has wronged him.
As further compensation, plaintiff demands partial ownership of defendant's mustache.
A lot of things. The mustache thing is interesting because whoever gets the middle strip is going to look like Hitler probably, which is a little weird. But,
well, you can put it wherever.
Yeah, maybe like an eyebrow or something.
To further promote the budding movement of buddies, Jev commandeers the billboard Cubfan once used to congratulate everyone on their shops being repossessed, and changes the sign to say Cub loves Nopo. This is of course slander, since Cub only sees it as a friend. Also, Jevin continues to work on the Halloween-themed builds for his azalea forest, so it's safe to say we're not out of the woods yet. In the spirit of the season, False Symmetry continues the tradition of putting minigames into shops, and builds her own tourist trap for the Nether Plants But Not Trees store. Her game is an archery challenge, where the player is naturally descending down a warped vine, trying to hit all the targets on the wall opposite them before hitting the ground. It's kind of like a 90-degree rail shooter. To further help with the theming, False encloses the falling box in black concrete and sculpts a haunted mansion facade on the side with all the targets. The beauty of target blocks also means you can try and beat this with other projectiles, so this could as well be the egging the neighbor's house simulator.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tweak the lighting a bunch. I think it might add some more lighting behind the windows, if it wasn't for the fact that I literally use this for building for the most part. And I kind of care about my eyesight a little bit.
Gemini Tay does better by her neighbor and frees them of having to look at Perry the Platypus all the time. She actually archives the mammal of action down to a single shulker box and then emails it to Pearlescent Moon. And this is why you never open archives from shady addresses. Perry is now standing menacingly on top of Pearl's home. Eventually he'll make it to the mission location, guys.
It's perfect. Pearl will know what to do with that. I'm confident. She'll know exactly what to do.
Gem's own base progression moves onto the sea beasts actually showing aggression to the fishing villages. At least if you take her word for it. See, Gem builds a scene of a shoreline home being destroyed by a rogue tentacle, but since the moment is frozen in time, it also kinda looks like the monster is holding a piece of the roof because it's putting the thing together like a Lego set. We can confidently ascribe malice to Gemini Tay herself, however, seeing as how she lures another victim to the pumpkin patch jump scare machine.
Go see, Etho! Go see!
Oh. Okay, that actually did make me jump, honestly.
On the contrary, Joel Smallish Beans is not done with the scary jump machine yet, by which we mean the reopened Ravager Rush. But in a funny twist, he actually needs all of these frog lights he's winning. The amphibian lamps are good fodder for his neon city, especially since he once again builds about 20 new stories to it.
Itself, and you can see by the days flashing, this took 4 hours to build in total, not including the other part of the building. This is about 5 hours in total, so yeah, kind of crazy.
While the main goal here is to hide away the music disc and gunpowder production line, it helps that a part of the building is holding up an extra massive billboard, more ad space to promote his businesses to the one resident who is also himself. Though Mumbo Jumbo gets a good glimpse at it too when he stops by to audition the man for the role of his lawyer in the upcoming blockbuster Xbcrafted Has Sued Me Because My Shop Screams.
I threw a brick through a window in front of someone and started laughing maniacally.
And what's the crime? Just the damage of property?
What do you mean? What's the crime?
But since that horror comedy is still in the planning stages, XB does actually have the time to officially allow Corrales creative liberty when destroying his front lawn.
So you know what? No, don't get upset, okay? Hey, don't be upset.
Corrales utilizes that right to the full extent of the law. The signature moss rock terrain spreads across the river and reshapes the land around the millionaire mansion, bringing with it a gazebo, a boat garage, and a speedboat to match. Something for the both of them to look at when visiting their friend. But the ground and grass manipulation leaves Corrales' dirt supply lacking, so he's forced to try and buy some from the laundromat, because this server makes all the sense every now and again.
Yeah, well, I kind of put in 12 diamonds there, but nothing came out. Nothing. I heard it clicking over here somewhere, boss.
There's nothing in there yet. It's kind of...
That's a shady business practice if I've seen one.
Anyways. What?
This is a robbery.
Turns out there's more than one way to poke Doc M77, and whether it's the work of the ore snatcher or a copycat, a diamond block has been replaced by iron in the giant sand shovel above his armor trim shop.
We can just go ahead and steal his diamonds because, we're short on money and we want to buy something in the shopping district. Oh, whatever happened here?
Somehow this is not the only problem iron has caused lately, but more on that later. Doc gets back to the poker pit to recap Zombie Cleo's armor stand work and introduce a roulette game designed by Rex Stone, which is basically his backup plan to fleece the high rollers if someone wins big at the poker table.
This whole place will teach people about never to gamble, because it's never worth it.
He doesn't get that honor himself after inviting Skizzleman to play and making the stakes even higher. After a tense back and forth game, Doc has to walk away with defeat showing on his face in the form of a curse of binding salmon head, which is when Xbcrafted happens to swing by with a mace.
Oh! An accident happened! Wow,
no! XB was first in line when Ravager Rush reopened, at least before any of the scores were added to the boards, and it makes a fine diversion while he figures out the ceiling remodel in his Ocean Monument's basement layer.
So that one go like that. Son of a... Dang it.
But his main concern this week is confronting Mumbo about the spreading pollution, both physically and sonically, from the iron shop. After a mostly civil conversation, Mumbo puts a brick through his window, and when XB returns to board up the shop some more, he's built a noise machine on the roof and there are paid actors insisting everything is safe. As Doc comes by to investigate, the two wonder if we're seeing Mumbo's villain arc. And considering he's now taken to riding a skeleton horse, we wouldn't be surprised. I'm no lawyer, but there are a lot of admissions of guilt in Mumbo's footage even before he casually smashes a window, and doubling down by setting up some redstone noisemakers was not the balm on the issue he seemed to expect.
But I ask you, is there any evidence? The prosecution will try to convince you that this face is guilty just from the mustache alone. But I tell you that all that matters is evidence.
Right.
And in this case, there is none.
Deciding he should probably lawyer up, Mumbo auditions both Smallish Beans and Rendog to present his legal defense, and time-lapses a multi-item sorter, presumably so he has a place to file away the papers he's about to be served.
Is really quite simple, and I did want to resist saying that because there are quite a lot of complexities to it.
And finally there's B-double-O, because just like his birthday, you thought we forgot, didn't you? B-dubs observes the carnage at Mumbo's iron shop, but since he's likely to be the judge in this case, he goes back to the incredibly legal activity of lurking on rooftops and attempting to lure out Joel Smallish Beans with beefsteak.
Okay, maybe not today. This was a good... Okay. And the beef just despawned. Probably scared. He probably knows I'm here. And he's probably freaking out slightly.
When this doesn't work, he builds a potion shop, and some very fine potions they will be too if he gets the ratio of ingredients as precise as the ratios of elements in the build. But the shop interior needs a few finishing touches, and perhaps as a birthday present to himself, or perhaps as some retail therapy because of everyone missing it, he does some chirping. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is Sloy XP, and my name is PixelRiffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.